Sioko Gwaltsi Tamu Chin Quit Kenatnam KEXP Hinch DJ Tory J Quinais Slaquamish Tolch Tahola Chin Quinais Call Hinch Kotlo Nugansi Asnisia Hitch Chin Sioko Nos Kenatnam. Thank you for welcoming me on Duwamish land. You're listening to KEXP. I'm DJ Tory J, Quinault tribal member from Tahola on the mouth of the Quinault River. I'm happy to speak to you today, and thank you for listening. And I have the distinctive honor of hosting in our studio today the band Deerlady. Just know before we start that these live in-studio sessions are made possible by you. And so if you could subscribe to the channel, like the video, share with your friend your new favorite band. That means the world to us here at KEXP. Just like the debut album, Greatest Hits from Deerlady, who I'm welcoming here today. So whenever you're ready to play some music, feel free to get started.
Slipping through, fastened by a line uncoiling, with snow above and in between. Silent night, taking on. I'm at a truck stop without a light. I'm in the third aisle in plain sight, and you're dragging your dirty boots through my head, making my mind up like it's your own bed, and laying in living in a world that isn't real. While all the others, they sent their boots, flooded on a kick that's spoiling, sweating it out like kerosene, while you're dragging your dirty boots through my head, making my mind up like it's your
All right, you just heard Seeing 2 by Deerlady right here in the KEXP studio.
1, 2, 3, 4. It heaves and hardens where it fell. Its eyes are dry as I am drawn, and I wanna believe in something else. And I wanna believe in something else. It wrings its hands and begins to fray. It still expands, and I am stone, and I wanna believe in someone else. And I wanna believe in someone else. I still wanna believe. I still wanna believe. I still wanna believe. I still wanna Its webs, and I fail to see. Its nails are long, and I am gone, and I wanna believe in somewhere else. And I wanna believe in somewhere else. I still wanna believe. 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 I still
You just heard Believer from Deerlady. That's on their debut album, Greatest Hits, right here in studio at KEXP.
Do you seek a body tender in your company? A sympathetic set of ears to fill the confectionery story. The kind of enemy you can hold on to. A ceremony you can belong to. ceremony you can belong to. And I'm looking for that posthumous. I am it's a contorted finger pointing. It's nothing personal, just you and me. It's that subjective picking, choosing, queuing up to cash that bounty. The kind of enemy, a ceremony. The story goes, it's been a long time, running circles as we acclimate. Wanna believe we're nothing like them. Wanna believe in something, anything. The kind of enemy you can hold on to. A ceremony you can belong.
Woo, Deerlady in the house, just rocking it over here with Bounty. That's from the same album, Greatest Hits, which came out in January. Yeah.
I feel like I surprised you guys.
Oh, yeah, totally. That's not in the record.
It is. It actually is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's mixed really far back because I used to be sort of self-conscious about screaming. I had never done it before into a microphone.
That's great.
Thank you.
Loved it.
I feel like you should be the one to scream, kind of like personality-wise. Like I'm like always just glowing and so happy. But it's.
I'm too busy screaming on guitar. It's fine.
It's fine.
Nailed it. That was sick.
We'll never die, but go ahead, repeat the old lie. Make believe it's coming imminently true. Seems to me the problem starts and ends with you. Is any of it real? Least of all the hollow way I feel, coming home to ash and bone and steel. Can you admit, as I must, that you don't give a fuck about my world? Shoot out the lights all you can. Save the men masterpieces they come. Brick and concrete, 200,000 years buried. Wild stars witness the unholy. Well, I take it in. I wrestle with language too. I didn't come to make a speech. I came to masterpieces they come.
.3 FM Seattle, 92.7 in the Bay Area, and all around the world at KEXP.org. Right here on YouTube, on KEXP's YouTube channel, you just heard a wonderful set from the band Deerlady and Silkwell for coming into the studio. Silkwell's thank you, and Quinal for all the uninitiated. It's so wonderful to hear your music come alive in a live setting compared to listening to greatest hits just on headphones. So thank you so much.
Boyoni, thank you.
Deerlady is a relatively new musical venture. I was able to see the shift from Molly Obomsawin and Magdalena Abrego to Deerlady proper. So I'm kind of curious about how the band started. How did you two meet, and what about your musical chemistry shaped what ended up being Deerlady?
You know, it's true. We released this record before we had a proper band name. I remember the day that Molly thought of Deerlady. She turned to me and she was like, "It's native and pronounceable."
Well, unlike my name.
Yeah, we decided Magdalena Abrego and Molly Obomsawin doesn't fit on a marquee. But we actually met as friends through the making of this record. Molly was looking for a guitar player that loved My Bloody Valentine and Ornette Coleman. And yeah.
That was you.
That was me.
I found you. I was like so shocked that the name Deerlady wasn't taken. And this was after our music had been featured on the episode Deerlady of Reservation Dogs. And I was actually out this way in Oregon, and I was walking through this very cool, snowy pass. Sounds like very idyllic, and it was in Caldera, Oregon, and thinking about that episode, and I was like, wait, and I Googled. And for people who don't know, every band name is taken. Like, that's just how the world works. So it was shocking.
I'll say that it was shocking to me too. Like I remember when like you did the first, like created the Deerlady Instagram and all that, and kind of formally announced yourselves as a musical group. That was in the announcement. It was like, we were shocked that this name wasn't taken. And
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, that makes so much sense. But it's also, oh yeah.
Like, I was like, are we worthy? You know, Deerlady, she has a lot of different connotations, especially across Indian country. Like, we have a Deerlady story. She's a very positive figure for us. And I think generally teaches good, important lessons. But like most characters in Native stories, like if you behave badly, like she's maybe not your friend.
Yeah, the first horror stories, for
Exactly.
sure. Pitch Lady is the Quinault version, yeah, that we grew up with. But I also think that it's a really kind of poetic that your music shaped that episode of Res Dogs, and then Deerlady came into being as the group name. Like, I just think all of that fits so perfectly in this beautiful serendipity. I think it's a wonderful thing.
Agreed.
So I wanted to bring things over to your album, Greatest Hits. You've described it as witnessing a precious softness that emerges from seas of rage and heartache, and a through line of hope that seems to flower over a bedrock of anti-colonial collaboration. Aside from being heard on the album and in studio today, how do these themes and collaborations shape the broader ethic of Deerlady and your personal compositional perspectives?
So I'm Abenaki, from the Northeast. My nation is a First Nation of Quebec, Odanak. But I grew up in the Northeast in Maine, just right across the border. And there's four federally recognized tribal nations in Maine, and like a few others in the Northeast, and then this huge gap, obviously, history, until you get to the Mississippi. A few exceptions. But so performing our music in the Northeast is like a distinctly different experience than going to places like the Pacific Northwest or the Southwest where we just were. And it was really, everything clicked when we were in New Mexico this summer, touring this record, playing to audiences of like natives and Latinos, and just like every show was packed and everyone was like so with us, and we got like gifts from random fans at every show. It just like felt so native, and we were like, oh, like this is what the music is, this is who the music is for, you know, and this is the kind of community that we want to grow around the music. And it was just like so humbling and affirming for us, and I think that's, yeah, we're like so happy to be starting in that place with that sort of hug from community, because I think that like a lot of us grow up without music that speaks to the immense amount of anger that a lot of us grow up with, like sort of realizing where we are, and what our surroundings are. Mm-hmm. And but also we want the music to like invite people into a space where that's acknowledged and they can still find gentleness and like a place to cry safely.
Yeah, that's great. I read in an interview, because you used to say that the album was about intimacy under colonialism, but you then kind of what's the word? Retracted that statement and just said it's about intimacy. Yeah. And I think that that's a really deft sort of framing, right? Like I really, like even just hearing you all play in the studio today, I feel that same hug of community because you're giving us a gift too. And so it makes so much sense to me that fans would bring you gifts and, you know, and be together in that way to hear this music that contains rage and sadness, but also serenity and, you know, resistance, right? I love all of that.
I think at some point we realized that the phrase under colonialism is redundant.
So redundant.
Here we are singing in English.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I have is introducing my 10-second introduction in Quinault, right?
Well, I think also the redundancy of that and who you're talking to when you're presenting your work, I think is something that I've considered a lot more lately. Intimacy under colonialism isn't elevator pitch to non-colonized people, for non-colonized people to kind of see if they can get it.
Sure.
But for us, it's this is just music for us.
Yeah, I totally. Oh man, sorry, we can geek out about that. So, this is, I'm losing my whatever here, but I know what you mean. So let's just, I guess, go into the next question after a deep breath. So, both of you are prolific and multidisciplinary when it comes to music composition, from film scores to big bands to free jazz and grungy rock. What are some of the prides and pitfalls of sort of wearing many hats in the music industry? And how do you hope to push past those boundaries and boxes in your musicianship?
I think it's just a reflection of us as people. Molly and I contain multitudes. And it's a way of resisting that narrative of the monolith. And but I think that it definitely comes with some pitfalls. I think it can be challenging when we are touring as Deerlady, and I'm also playing in Molly's jazz band. And every once in a while, Deerlady will be described as a jazz trio. Or we'll play jazz shows with Molly's extet, and folks will be like, why didn't you play those Deerlady songs? Because there I am on stage as well. But
I feel like we are not just unique to us. I think musicians in general, artists in general, are always resisting being pigeonholed. Native musicians especially, people really are expecting a specific something or other when you say that you are native and you play music, or you play native music, if you dare to go that far. But so there's definitely just sort of some confusion that the industry, that's built into the industry when you are someone with multiple interests and projects. But let them be confused and let them try to catch up. I don't know. It's whatever.
Yeah, I love that. Let them be confused, right?
I'm just gonna keep doing. I think I've never felt entitled to attention or even expected anyone to notice anything that I'm doing. So it's I'm gonna just keep doing it. And
sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And I love that ethic of just kind of pushing through, makes it feel kind of odd to even ask that question.
Totally. Yeah, we're just
a little bit.
Here we are in all our complexity.
Yeah.
Hope you're confused and delighted.
Sure, absolutely. So I guess speaking of just doing things, finally, I guess, what can we expect from Deerlady and for both of you as in your own sort of solo projects that you're willing and able to talk about?
I'm really excited for this next chapter of Deerlady because, as I mentioned, Molly and I met through the making of this record. But since then, we have spent so much time together in the back of tour vans and sleeping on couches and just getting to know each other better as people. And so looking ahead to the next chapter of this band, the music is going to reflect that enhanced sort of relationship that we have. So I'm really excited to hear what that sounds like.
Yeah, people might not know that we literally got to know each other in the studio with these songs, and now that we both know what each other is capable of, and also that
totally.
We're just gonna keep pushing. I think that's cool. Yeah, we've been writing, we've been taking little videos here and there on old devices, and lots of things up our sleeve, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited to hear it, just personally. But I know, too, that we will love it here at KEXP. I'll definitely play it on my show, Sounds of Survivance, the native show every Monday, 3 to 5 a.m. So you just heard Deerlady in the studio here at KEXP, 90.3 FM Seattle, 92.7 in the Bay Area, and all over the world, kexp.org and youtube.com/KEXP. If you like what you've heard here or any other of our videos, then feel free to hit that subscribe button. Maybe leave a like or two when we've helped you discover your favorite new artist. This has been DJ Tory J. I'm Quinault from Taholah on the mouth of the Quinault River, and it has been such a joy to have Deerlady in the studio with us.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.